Okay, this one's a little bit different. I'm going to try and make a boat that's propelled by in a way that no one else has done it before. I'm going to make it work. I just don't know if it's going to be practical. Like it may not go faster than walking speed. If it goes any faster than that, then I think I probably would do it to that. And my idea is just something a little bit different. Just using EDF like that's been done before. I've built heaps of them, back, years ago. When I first started out, I used to be able to build boats that no one had done before because brushless stuff was all pretty new. So I was the first one to convert a gas boat over to twin brushless. I did that with a big arrow shark hull. It was probably around, I can't remember, like 2005 or something like that. Then when the 56mm motors come out, I was the first one to put a 56mm motor in a boat. I did that to a TFL Osprey. Hopefully in editing, pics of these might come up. And then I was the first one to put two 56mm motors in a boat, like a gas boat or any boat. But that was easy back then, and now it's nothing. But back then it was kind of unheard of to do this stuff. And I've gone all these years without doing anything innovative since then. But I was thinking, I wonder if I can put a couple of EDFs in a boat. I'll just do this one as a test. If I gut this, facing it straight up like that, low, obviously as low as I can get it, come around the corner like that, and then out, and then I was thinking I'll use a jet nozzle for steering. So it may not be fast at all, I don't know, but my idea was, what I came up with, was doing it in a big cat with possibly bigger ones. This one's too big. This is a 56mm motor in that, so we can't do anything there. I mean, I've done a cat with two of these on it before, a bigger cat than this. But this is a new TFL, they call it a T45, 45 inches long. I've never seen one in real life. I've never seen one on YouTube. The reason for that is because they're so expensive. If I don't do something with this, I know I can never sell the hull. I'd probably have to get $1,500 for the hull. Some grease on there. So dirty hands. Oh, the smell. The new fiberglass just smells so good. Yeah, so that one's going to be too big. Maybe something like that. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Might even have to be small. Like, the idea is two of these in here, perhaps facing that way with a nozzle that comes up and just faces straight up, and then out to there. I chose this one because it doesn't have any overhang. It's not like a Zonda, where it's not flat on the back. It just gives you options to be able to do stuff like that. But yeah, that will only happen is if this works. If I can get this to go, anything more than 10-15 kilometers an hour, really. If I can do this, then I'll do that with a double one, just to be different, not to be expecting it to be fast or anything like that, just to do something no one else has done. So I'm going to strip this boat. It's just the noodle boat, this is noodles, everyone knows it, but it's got good gear in it, so all the stuff on the back is an upgrade, TP motor, big speed controller, stuff like that. So I'll get this gutted and then I'll see what I can fit in here. Okay, so there she is. Took about half an hour to get to that stage. 5 minutes to pull the electronics out and stuff off the back. That's what all that stuff is there. Another 25 minutes, probably longer, than to pull this motor mount out. It's just unbelievable how tight, how good that was in there. The glue was just amazing. I had angle grinders and cutters and everything in there, all the big stuff. But now we're done. Okay, so now we'll see what fits. Now the fun begins. Yep. I think I'm going to have to get rid of that hole. he's kind of right in the way from my steering thing. But yeah, it's okay. I like doing stuff where I've got to figure stuff out how it's going to go. Even better if there's a chance it may not go. That's even more interesting. Okay, we're at the fun bit now. Drilling holes. Probably past the point of no return. So I need a 40mm hole in that. I'm using a 40mm jet. I had a 38mm hole saw. So I'm just going to have to take just a little bit more out. Okay, so my hole's done. I had to grind out this part here because this is the top of the shoebox type style. You know, the way they put the lid on the bottom, so that had to be flat, like same as that. And I'm just going to block up the holes now, just all my screw holes and that. 2-part epoxy, 5-minute. Just got the tape on the back so it can't go through, the glue can't flow through. I'm not going to bother putting any fiberglass tape, or chop mat or anything like that on there. Okay, so while that's drying, I'll see what I can figure out how I'm going to do this. I'm just working on the fly here, so you're doing this with me. My idea is to sink this down as far as I can into this adapter. Obviously it's not as good, you know, the ridges rather than, you know, just a cone, but this is just a concept. So I need to get this down. I'll cut these, grind these mounts off, get that in there deeper. What was I going to do? It's going to be like that. How am I going to do this? Oh, yeah, we're going to go there, deeper, put this on here, connect that up to there, and this one onto here. Probably shorten this by a lot so that that is touching on there or over there, and then I was just going to use this from there and just silicone it, just silicone that like flat bit up onto the edge there. I'd rather have some kind of flange that I could, you know, kind of bolt on, but I can't really because of the jet itself. It's going to be bolted on, going to have screws going through it, so just stuff all I got to figure out. Okay, so it's not really working out how I want. It's funny how things look when you're imagining them in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then you come to do it, it's like totally different. I imagine this to be like just, you know, just about that height there, but even when I shorten this as much as I can, take a bit off of here, I don't think it's going to be much lower than that by the time I put the angle on there. So I mean, it doesn't make much, it's not much different than just doing that, although I would just be coming out the back here. But obviously the other way to do it is have the jet in here, or have the EDF in there and get a bigger one of these and come straight up. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do if I'm going to make this work. Bad thing about that, and the reason I didn't want to do it like that, is because when the boat stops, the water's just going to come straight into here and fill up the motor. It's not going to sink the boat because this will be sitting up, so it won't come higher than that. But you know, the motor will still work, but it's not ideal. Like if you were to take off when the motor's full, it's going to be hard to drive that until the water comes out, and it'll probably cause problems. But I'm going to keep going with this. So I think I have to give up on the idea of it being like that. It's just, yeah, no, it's just not going to work. So then we'll go this way, and then from here straight out the back like I was going to do before, and don't stop, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, this thing's going to be turned into a jet boat after this anyway, because I'm already going to have the nozzle on the back. It would just be a matter of cutting all that out and making a jet boat. So we're just playing around. Already had that. Bought, you know, $30, $40 worth of stuff from the hardware to muck around with. So it's not a real big deal. I'll still want to do that big project, but I'll get this going and just see if it's worth doing that, if it even works. So see what happens. Rightio, she's all together. It's all pretty simple actually. The hardest part was doing that servo. The servo had to be on a wedge rather than being on the angle of the boat. And because this part here was angled, I couldn't run the normal boot. So I had to make the hole fairly close to the size of the rod, which didn't give me much room, you know, to make it. It had to be perfect. And believe it or not, like I'd normally spend 5-10 minutes putting a servo in and lining up the, you know, the rod and that, but I reckon this took me an hour. I just so much mucking around. Plus, you couldn't do anything in there as well. Couldn't work in there. Yeah, so I probably spent 2 hours on the whole boat putting it together, but an hour on the servo. It was frustrating. I was about to go home, and I thought I'll just spend 10 minutes and get that servo going, and I just couldn't get it figured out. Not running smoothly anyway, and I thought, well, I just can't leave this. I won't sleep tonight if this thing beats me. So I got that sorted out in the end. Now I'm just going to do a test. The best thing about these EDF stuff is I can do all the testing electrically here before I get to the lake, so I know nothing's going to blow up if I can just run it here. So what I'm going to do is just run it flat out for as long as the battery gives me. So I've got some water sorted out there. I've got a pump hooked up. It's going to fire up when I plug the battery in. I'll be able to monitor my battery going down. Got it on 3S. Radio's on. Pump should be working. Got some temperature. What do we got here? Okay, we've got 18 degrees on the ESC. Let's get her going. Throttle. Okay, start the timer. See where we're at. Alright, there's actually no point going any further. The speed controller never went up at all. I think it went down a degree as soon as I pumped the water through. And your battery, battery's still cold. So that's good. That's a 3S test. I've actually thought this motor was a 3S motor. I might give it a quick run on 4S. See what that does. Okay, so I just did another test on 4S. I thought I had the camera on, but I didn't. Typical. But it was the same thing. The speed controller didn't get hot. battery went about the same temperature, which is a surprise. Still like 2416 on that. Wires didn't get hot, so I might as well just run it on 4S. I thought going from, this is a 70mm EDF, we're going down to 40mm. I thought that would be an issue. Might be too much, but it's throwing out plenty of thrust, I can tell you that much. I've got a little bit more hope for this setup now. Maybe I'm not totally wasting my time. Alright, so there she is, held together with silicone and hot melt glue, basically. But yeah, it's working. I actually pretty confident it's nothing's gonna go wrong electrically. Just knocked out this little lid, just bent up a bit of scrap plastic. Got that sitting up there about how I wanted it, actually, how I imagined it to be. As I was heating up the plastic to get it to the shape of the boat, I forgot it was a plastic boat, and we got a bit soft on the edge here, but it didn't matter in the end. It just went back to its normal shape. I forgot what I was working on with the heat gun. As long as I keep it under 100 mile an hour, I think that lid will stay on. So we'll take her out tomorrow and see what happens.